Nadine Thornhill, sexuality educator. One of the most common fears around teens and sex is that they will get pregnant or they will get somebody else pregnant. According to the Centers for Disease Control, in the United States, the live birth rate is 23.2 out of every 1,000 youth ages 15 to 19. In Canada, the live birth rate is 13.5 for every 1,000 youth ages 15 to 19, or at least it was in 2010, which is the most recent stat I could find because the Statistics Canada website is not working. Teen pregnancy is a big topic, and I'm not going to try to cover it all in one video. I'm actually going to do a series of 3. And even then, I'm not going to be able to say nearly everything there is to say on the subject of teen pregnancy. So today I'm going to be talking about what we can do as parents and caregivers to support teens who come to us and tell us that they are facing an unintended pregnancy. In the second video, I will be talking about pregnancy options, so parenting, adoption, and abortion. And in the last video, I will talk about what we can do as parents, as caregivers, as educators to help reduce teens' risk of an unintended pregnancy. So I want to kick off today's video by talking first about avoiding stigma around teen pregnancy. Teen pregnancy often has a profound effect on the people involved. Now, of course, the most significant effect is going to be on the person who is actually experiencing the pregnancy, but it also impacts their partner, it can impact their friends and their family, and even people in their communities. In our culture, there tends to be a lot of stigma and judgment associated with teen pregnancy. When we see a pregnant teen, we often make some pretty negative assumption. That kid is irresponsible. That kid must not be too bright. That kid must not have been raised with the proper morals. We might attribute the pregnancy to their race or ethnicity, that's just another baby mama, that's just another baby daddy, or to their socioeconomic status. Oh, well, they're poor, or they're from this part of town, of course they got pregnant. In my opinion, this isn't helpful for anyone. It's not helpful for the person going through the pregnancy. It's not helpful for their partner. It's not helpful for their family. And it isn't helpful for those of us who may be on the outside of the situation looking in. I think one of the reasons we tend to stigmatize people in these situations is because we're scared. We're scared that, this could be our child. We're scared about how we would react. We're scared about how people might judge us in a similar situation. I think we have such worry around the ramifications of teen pregnancy that we want to protect ourselves mentally. And one way of doing that is by saying, well, that's something that's happening to someone else and that would never happen to me. They're bad, I'm good, and therefore I'm protected. Now, concerns about teen pregnancy are completely legit. I mean, statistically speaking, youth who are pregnant are more likely to experience health challenges or complications during their pregnancies, and young parents are less likely to complete high school or go on to post-secondary. So I'm not going to tell anyone that teen pregnancy is not something that they should be worried or concerned about. While statistics are really helpful in identifying broad social trends, they aren't always super useful in predicting what's going to happen to any given individual in that situation. If your teen, or a teen that you know is pregnant, that is a challenging reality and it's a situation that they're going to have to deal with, but it doesn't necessarily mean that their life is going to be terrible or that they can't be successful or follow their dreams. There's also no evidence that shows that stigmatizing teen pregnancy or judging pregnant teens will make your teen less likely to have partnered sex, but what it might do is make them more reluctant to talk to you about it. When we see a pregnant teen, walking down the street, in a store, on the bus, in our neighborhood, the only thing that we can know about them for sure is that they have had sex with someone. Now let's talk about what you can do if it's your teen who comes to you and says, I'm pregnant or my partner is pregnant. If your teen drops that bomb, that can be really shocking for you as the adult. You may have a whole range of emotions or you may feel numb, but we'll get to that in a minute. Right now, I want to talk about what your teen needs from you. Try to remember this is still your kid. This doesn't mean they're a bad person. It just means that they're a human being. A lot of human beings have sex, and sometimes sex leads to pregnancy. And yes, pregnancy is a big deal, but at the end of the day, this is still a child that you have raised and that you love. I think when a kid comes to us and tells us that they're going through something major, potentially life-changing, that it's always appropriate as their parents or caregivers to lead with love and support. Now, you may not know what the hell you're going to do tomorrow or next week or a month from now, but in the moment, if you're able to remember to just say something to them like, you know what, I'm here. No matter what, I love you, and no matter what, I am with you on this. That is huge. If your teen is dealing with an unintended pregnancy, there's a good chance that they're really scared and they're completely overwhelmed. They need to know that you love them and that you are there for them no matter what. So start there. The next thing I want to talk about is your pregnant teen's health. If your teen is pregnant, obviously their bodies are going through some major stuff and their health needs are super important. If your teen is able to visit a doctor or a medical professional, then they can get important information about how far along they are in their pregnancy and how their body is responding and what they need to do to take care of their health. So I know for folks in remote areas or for folks who don't have health insurance, the option of going to see a doctor may not be available. So down in the description box below, I'm going to leave some links to different resources and information about healthcare in early pregnancy. And finally, I want to talk a little bit about things you can do to take care of yourself as the parent or caregiver of a pregnant teen. So as I mentioned, if you found out that your teen is pregnant, you may go through a whole range of emotions. You may be sad, you may be scared, you may feel guilty, you may be angry, you may be confused. You may have positive emotions, you may be excited, you may be filled with love. I mean, whatever you're feeling, that is completely valid. If you are struggling, that's completely understandable, but just know that having a pregnant teen doesn't mean that you aren't a great parent or that you don't have a strong family. Having a perfect family or, a near perfect family with just really low-key struggles is wonderful, and if you have that, then I think you're really lucky. But a lot of families have to face really big challenges, and it gets messy and it gets scary and sometimes gets ugly, and it doesn't mean that they're not great families. That's just life. If you are dealing with your teen's pregnancy and you manage to love and support and be there through them, even if it gets a little messy and emotional and contentious, I think you are a fantastic grown-up and that your kid is super lucky to have you. Teen pregnancy can be really tough and really scary for folks involved, but just know that it doesn't have to ruin your life and it does not have to ruin your child's life. Next, I'll talk about pregnancy options and how you can support your teen in making a choice that will work for them. Until then, I hope you have a great day and I will see you soon. Bye.